Hey there guys, Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome back to another card making video. Before we get started on the card though, I want to talk to you about patterns and picking patterns for card making. Now, if you purchase paper from Stampin' Up, everything in Stampin' Up's line is coordinated. So the colors are coordinated with the inks, with the ribbons, with the markers, with the blends, with the punches, with the stamp sets. It's all meant to coordinate together. So it's really kind of easy to play with the designer series paper together. But even when it's coordinated, it can still be hard to know how to pair patterns together. So you guys have heard me before say, you know, the rule of three. You want an odd number of like embellishment, etc. Now, when it comes to pattern paper, what's pleasing to the eye is basically a rule of three. You want a large and dominant pattern. You want a mid-sized pattern, and then you want one that is either neutral or is a pattern that is something like this. This is basically blue on blue with a little hint of tranquil tide. So this is Night of Navy, but from far away, this almost reads neutral. Now you can obtain neutral in a couple of ways. You can use it with designer series paper. You can use a piece of ribbon, or you can use an embossing folder. So today I'm going to be using this piece of paper, but I could have easily used any of these three things to get a quote-unquote neutral pattern. So if you're having a hard time picking what patterns go together, especially in this pack, so let me show you if you missed it. So there are some really bold patterns, like we have this houndstooth, we have the pipes. So these are what would be considered like a large, bold pattern. These stripes could be a large, bold pattern. This could be considered a medium pattern, or it could even be considered almost a neutral because of the background. And again, with like this one, could be almost considered a neutral or a small pattern. So that's one way that you can go about picking patterns that go together. And Roxy will not settle, so I apologize for all the jingle jangle. She may make an appearance. I don't know. So again, like I mentioned, pick 3 different patterns, or pick 2 pieces of pattern paper and then use either a piece of ribbon or a embossing folder to help create a well-balanced card. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in before I got started today, because I was sitting here picking patterns. I'm like, oh, maybe I should talk about this and share it with you guys. So I'm imparting wisdom on you today. So these are the 3 patterns that I'm using today. I have a chocolate chip card layer. So the colors in this paper are chocolate chip, crumb cake, very vanilla, Night of Navy, tranquil tide, and then it has a little hint of crushed curry. So I have a chocolate chip card base, and that's another thing. You want to make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 colors that are repeating. So I am using chocolate chip ink and a chocolate chip card base, and there is a hint of chocolate chip in this paper. And crushed curry can just be our accent piece. So I have a card layer, or excuse me, base that's 5.5 by 8.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4, and then I've put in my Whisper White card layer. I do this almost always. You don't have to, but it's a preference for me. And so I am doing a top folding landscape card today, which is rare, but I'm doing it. So I've cut down these 2 pieces of pattern paper to be 2 inches by 5 1/4, which means that this way they will be both ways together. They will be a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel. And then I wanted to bring in a little bit of contrast with this 3rd pattern. So it's going to be just like that. And you can see it's just enough. And again, I could have used ribbon for this as well, but you guys have seen me use this corduroy ribbon, so I wanted to use the paper. And this type of paper, I mean, it's in a masculine suite, but this type of paper definitely screams masculine. And again, I mean, it feels awkward having, you know, assigning those kind of qualities to crafting, but I think the majority of people think of crafting that way. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by stamping first. Let's get that out of the way. So I have used the next to largest and the largest stitch shaped circle. You guys know I love these dies. So I've cut out the largest in navy, and I've cut out 2 smaller ones in whisper white. So I have 2 to stamp. I'm going to be using this stamp from the Truly Tailored, the Wishing You a Dapper Day. I think this is really, really cute. And what I wish is that we still had the mustache die, because I think this would be hilarious with that sweet, but alas. But if you still have it in your stash, I think this is a good one to use it. So I think this is a really good suite to have if you make a lot of masculine cards, or again, if you are someone who does craft fairs, etc. Don't forget, if you join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator, you're going to get 2 free stamp sets of your choice, valued up to $101. And you're also going to get $125 worth of product for $99. So you could easily get this in your kit if you wanted. Or you could get a kit entirely in blends. I like it. There's a little bit right there, but I'm not worried about it. I want to set this aside to dry. That's why I wanted to stamp first. So I'm going to bring in my designer series paper. You guys know I had to use this plaid. I almost used the houndstooth, but I'm going to save that for a different day. I'm just using Tombow liquid. The great thing about this glue is that it is permanent or removable. So if you let it dry, like if I were to put this on here and let it dry, then it becomes a removable adhesive. But if you go ahead and put it on and put it down, then it is a permanent adhesive. And people have asked me why I've switched from snail, and this is why, because I was able to move that around before it completely dried. I just got tired of wasting, and don't get me wrong, I still love snail. I still have some in my stash. Sometimes though it's easier, especially when I'm getting flustered or making a ton of cards like sometimes I do. So I just want this to kind of straddle the line here. Just like that. Then I am going to go ahead and adhere these together using dimensionals. I'm going to adhere this just like that. I'm going to bring in some of the buttons and yay, my glue dots came yesterday. So let's pick out some buttons I really love. And I have a little bit of a boo-boo, so I'm going to cover it up. And just going to do 3. I want 2 down here too. Let's see. No, I think 3 will be enough. These are the True Gentleman buttons. I love this one. They're wood grain. They're so pretty. Oh my word. So I'm going to use 2 on the big one. masculine themed card that can be used for Father's Day. It could be used for birthday. It could be just something that you can slip into your hubby's lunchbox, which is what I'm kind of thinking of doing, which we may do one day this week. Rob packs his own lunch and he takes his lunch every day, and I thought, oh, it would be really nice to make up a bunch of little lunchbox notes just to send him every once in a while, just as a little surprise. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped you with picking pattern. I hope this gave you some ideas on how to embellish, and just a really quick, simple, and classic card for the gentleman in your life. So thank you so much. Don't forget, all the supplies are linked down below, along with the coordinating blog post for you to see more pictures and print the recipe. Make sure you get signed up as a demo, or message me if you have any questions. Get your orders in, use the hostess code. You can still sign up for Stamp Camp. And yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys, bye for now.